been wrong about loads of things. And I think I'm glad I'm wrong about loads of things, because I hope it shows that I'm willing to be wrong, and I've grown and I've changed.
What's the latest thing you've changed your mind about, do you think?
In my line of work?
Or anything?
In my line of work, it would be, I've said this again off camera, I don't think adding more daily habits to your life is going to be the thing that improves your mental, emotional well-being, which I realise is...
But you used to think that was the case?
I don't know if I ever thought that was the case. I don't think I was aware of what I thought was the case.
Okay, now you know.
So I suppose I've been pondering for ages, why is the mental health stats increasing? Now, there's loads of factors to that, 100%, right? But we seem to... There are a lot of people that come into our free stuff and it's kind of like, yeah, I know, I am hydrating, I am moving. Oh, the cold thing, I know about that. I go cold water swimming. And it's like, but they're still not feeling much better. So they're doing that stuff.
And then if you don't do it, you beat yourself up for not doing it.
Yes, then it becomes like, well, what else do I add into my day? You know, maybe I should be breathing and meditating and journaling. And I'm like, yeah, these are all good things. These are things that are good. We teach them, but we give them away for free. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you should. So I suppose when I pieced back, I'm like, why do people do all that and nothing changes for them? They're not doing it well enough? Are they need to do more of it? Well, how much time have you got in your day?
Well, maybe they're not doing it.
Your whole life becomes about your self-care now, your whole day.
They're just treating it like a tick list, but they're not fully engaged in it when they're doing it.
Well, I look back to my own life and I'm thinking, actually, I wasn't doing a lot of that. I was doing a lot of physical stuff. So I plugged in a lot of mental stuff. And I started doing daily habits, some sort of little morning routine and a nighttime routine, which I think is more important than a morning routine for the average person.
Right.
So I would ditch most of your morning routine a little bit, but I tend to think nighttime's more important. But then I get to the point, well, what did I do? So I did all that. I set some goals, started moving. And then I remember the first thing I was like I am mentally all over the shop. And I went through a period of like, I'm really going to hammer meditation, for example. I'm going to really delve into that. And then I was like, God, I'm journaling about, everyone's journaling their wins for the day, appreciations, gratitude. Brilliant. Then I was like, God, I really don't like much about who I am. I need to work on my self-worth. And so then I went and worked on self-worth. And then I was like, God, there's other elements to myself that I'm not comfortable with. And then I went and did a period of shadow work. And
what's that?
It's kind of like shadow would be the things you would rather not be. The things we all have a shadow. We all have things we're unaware of that we'd rather not be. And it's going and unpacking them. And
that's usually what you criticise other people for.
Exactly. So learn about projection. So I went and did that. That was really useful. But also I did a lot of work on sorting out the way I handled money. I also went and did a lot of work on actually, and then I realised I've become so insular in this journey. I forgot how to communicate with another individual.
Okay.
And maybe I've got some trust issues.
All right.
And so you start, on this journey, you start thinking, well, actually there's lots of things. Drinking 2 litres of water and jumping in a cold shower didn't
change your financial
didn't do any of that, right? I had to learn all these other things along the way. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is I think sometimes we're saying, well, if you want to feel good, just, you should move. It's like, yeah. But a lot of people are doing that and still not really feeling how they want to feel. And they're like, well, God, what's wrong with me? I'm doing all of the stuff. It's like, actually, you probably just need a period of time. I don't do shadow work every day, but I went through a focused period of shadow work and it benefited me massively. And then I did a focused kind of work. The last 3 months, I don't know if you've noticed, but I sorted my physical.
I noticed that
body out.
I need to get my tickets to the gun show.
Yeah, so I was, but it's because I'm like, I need to really focus on my physical health. I had a period of my life where I focused on meditation much more and neurofeedback, but I still meditate every day. But I had a period.
What's neurofeedback?
So getting wired up and the activity in your brain and training certain brain states.
What with
electrodes
on? Okay.
Story for another day. But I suppose, again, the point I'm trying to make is there are things I picked up and went hard on. It kind of solved a lot of problems for me. Daily habits were the staple. And then I was like, oh, that's great. And then as I move through life, maybe something else And I was like, I need to work on that. I picked that up. So for me, when I say daily habits aren't the answer for the average person, it's like, it's for me, it's what sorts your system out, gets everything working well. But then there's probably loads of other little issues that if we just focus on for a bit, put to bed, they're not things we're going to do every day.
Yeah.
But we work on them, we put them to bed. And that is how I evolved through my journey. So we were talking about flow previously. I got super obsessed with flow because I was like, I need to be more productive. And flow, what's flow? God. So I spent 2 years like working on flow.
Are you the type of person that like, when you're getting something new and you really dig it, you just go all in and down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Right.
Obsessively, yeah.
That's good.
It can be, but it also can be very destructive when that thing is not helpful for you. Because it doesn't differentiate between good and bad, that mindset.
But I think that because I'm not like that usually. Or if I am, it certainly won't be for long periods. But I think that that's such deep work that it is really good for you. And then you might not do it again for years, but it's in there. It's like, it's a tool. Like you've mentioned, you'll do something for a while. You rather than scratching, because I tend to scratch the surface of all those things on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Don't really get, it's almost like I've got to do my journal because it's the thing I have to do. And I'm not really present when I'm doing it. Right?
Exactly, because and you should do it every day because it's a daily staple.
Whereas you'll go deep into something for an extended period.
Yeah, and that's how we built what we have in Unbreakable. We have something called the Path.
Yeah.
And that's where I realized that's what makes it really unique in the sense you come in and you do daily habits and you track them, but then you get given little challenges all the time and they're laid out in an order. So, and you get to choose which challenge you take. We call them upgrades. So a few weeks in, it's like you can take something we call Calm in the Chaos, Self-Worth Cultivator, or Health Upgrade. Right? And the individual gets there and says, God, what do I really need to work on in my life? It's my health. And they have a focused challenge for 30 days on their health. Or they go, oh God, I am all over the shop. I need to take the Calm in the Chaos upgrade. And they work on it specifically for 30 days. Or they go, I need to work on my self-worth. I've got numb. And they work on that specifically. Now imagine if you said to that individual, right, you've got to do these
All three
every day for the rest of your life. They'd be like, I just can't fit it all in my life. And so it's like taking these specific upgrades and they get harder as the path progresses. So as you move through it, you get another set of upgrades. We've got upgrades for grit. And was I wrong before? I think what I didn't realize is how important that was. And that's when I think general public who are just trying to improve how we feel, sometimes we get stuck in thinking, well, I'm doing these daily habits and I feel a bit better, but it's like, because you need to lean into an area and work on it.
Yeah. Interestingly, that's how the best musicians, just bringing it back to my industry, if you like, they practice. They say you're better off practicing on one or two things, like that's it, than practicing 5 or 6 things. And most musicians do a bit of scales, a bit of technique, a bit of tone, learn a tune, probably 5, 6, 7 things. But the masters don't. They might do 3 months on one thing.
Yeah.